Hey Sam, sometimes I feel afraid of my clients for some reason. I don't know if I'm just acoustic and if it only happens to me, but I feel scared almost every time I get a message from a certain client, thinking it might be something bad or something I'm not prepared for, even though I didn't really do anything wrong. Thank you, Rick, for the question. Very interesting. This ignited a memory of mine when I was quite early on inside of my editing career. I'd been editing for a while, I just hadn't really offered it as a service, right? And I remember specifically for my first 5 to 10 clients I got, I would always have this really deep sense of dread whenever I got a message notification on Discord or Instagram or WhatsApp from one of my clients, and I'd think, fuck, oh my God, like, have I done something wrong? Is it gonna be bad? Am I gonna be fired? Is he not gonna be happy with some of the work I did? It would always give me this same sense of dread. So I'm really glad you asked me this, Rick, because I literally forgot about that, and it's very interesting to revisit that now that I've come so far in my editing career. Now, the cure for this, in my opinion, guys, is aura. A lot of people ask me, Sam, why don't you have an official portfolio for your editing? And my answer to that is, I don't need one. I am Sam Harborne. I am the go-to video editor guy. My life's work is my portfolio. My aura is my portfolio. My proven track record of scaling YouTube channels through world-class emotionally intelligent video editing and strategizing is my portfolio. When someone needs a video editor or they need some video editing advice, they think Sam Harborne. But how did I get to this stage? Because I wasn't always this way. Like I said in the beginning, I would have such a deep sense of dread whenever I just got a message from a client. I had self-doubts, I had limiting beliefs, I had anxiety about opening messages. And there was actually a time where I did open a message from a client and it did genuinely kind of fuck me up for a while. I had the opportunity to work with one of my favorite YouTubers at the time. I'm not gonna go into too much detail because I don't want to be involved in gay internet drama. But since then, it has come out that yes, this guy is a total dickhead, and I'm very glad that people have awoken to that. But anyway, at the time, one of my favorite YouTubers, I had the opportunity to work with him, and basically he gave me a trial edit. And if you know me, guys, you know how I feel about trial edits, but this was my favorite YouTuber, so I was like, okay, I'm doing a fucking trial edit, I don't care. I specifically remember him telling me before I started the edit that I've given this file to 5 different editors and not one of them have been able to get something out of it. It was a video game highlights video, basically. But he was willing to give me a shot with it, and I was very thankful. I was going through the footage, and it was literally 15 hours of footage. This is a trial edit, by the way, and he wanted a finished video from 15 hours of footage. So very unreasonable, very retarded. Once again, one of my favorite YouTubers, I was doing it anyway. And as I was going through the footage, I was about 7 hours in and I realized there really isn't much to work with here structurally. I wasn't going to be able to put together a good video with good structure, good storytelling, good pace. If there was going to be something, it would be a bit of a jumbled mess, right? So what I did do was I made cuts, I cut the footage which I was going to use, and I put markers in the timeline explaining my ideas behind what I was going to do with this footage should there have been a good video here for me to work with. And I sent this file to the guy and I said to him something along the lines of, hey man, really tried hard with this video. I went through most of the footage. I wasn't able to put together something which would make a good YouTube video, but I wanted to show you that I really tried. So here's the Premiere profile with markers for the ideas that I was going to do should this have been a good video. And I hope that you give me another opportunity to work with you with hopefully some better footage. And the response I got was just devastating. Basically, he just misunderstood me, or he's just a dickhead, and he started calling me a lazy fuck and that he's never worked with someone who has been so disrespectful of his time and this and this and this, and then he blocked me before I could even respond and explain to him even more, because I think he misunderstood or is just a complete knobhead, probably both. Anyway, that completely destroyed my self-esteem, quite frankly. I was already a very depressed and anxious person at this point in my life, But this genuinely made me quit video editing for 3 months. 3 months I felt really depressed and my self-esteem was destroyed and I stopped editing. So that's a story about a time I did get a message from a client and it did turn out to be very bad and a horrible experience. And again, coming from one of my favorite YouTubers at the time, it was like a fucking massive black pill. Like I say, he's turned out to be a massive knobhead. And I mean, I don't know, he plays video games for a living. Knowing what I know now, it's obvious this guy is fucking mentally ill, but hey ho. Back then, I didn't know as much, so eventually, after the 3 months, I did pick myself up and I did realize, like, oh yeah, someone who treats a service worker like this, I am a service worker, I'm providing a service, is probably fucked in the head. And again, he plays video games for a living, so who would have thought? And you can tell a lot by a person's character by how they treat service staff, okay? And to be honest with you, looking back now, his pay was absolutely fucking abysmal. He gave me 15 hours of footage, and he was gonna give me a 20, 15 or 20% commission on the AdSense that the video would make, which is a video game video on YouTube, which is gonna have terrible AdSense because all gamers are broke. And the videos wouldn't even be on his main channel, and they would probably get like, you know, 20,000 views. So 20% of 20,000 views on an AdSense video for video games is probably below $100, which is insane. So anyway, fuck this guy. Once I got over that, I began once again building up my aura, working with clients specifically who understood the value that I bring to their business and disregarding clients who didn't understand that. Because a good creator and a good entrepreneur understands the importance of a good, solid team behind them. And they look to hire the absolute best and most competitive members of their team in a very cutthroat attention economy. I simply just stopped entertaining clients who didn't understand that. And with that, I started to attract clients into my life who did understand that and did value me and understood my worth and was willing to jump in hour-long calls with me to strategize the pathway going forward and was willing to negotiate prices with me in a very fair way and was looking to grow together. Most editors, they fall into the trap of entertaining clients who quite frankly just don't deserve a good video editor. They think too small, they try to cut corners, they're not built for excellence. Trying to deliver excellence to these guys will go underappreciated and unnoticed. Let them dwell in mediocrity. Let them continue to hire the fucking 5er tier editors who they pay shit and constantly cycle through, and pray for them that one day they fucking figure it out. And stop putting your clients on a pedestal just because they pay you money. Paying you money is just one of the facets which makes a good client. And also understand this, Rick, you've probably been conditioned your entire life to be afraid of authority. Whenever you got called behind after class, it was never a good thing. Whenever you got a letter in the mail, it was never a good thing. Whenever you got a phone call, it usually wasn't a good thing. You need to unprogram that part of your brain and realize that talking to your client is not the same as getting a letter in the mail or being told off by your teacher. It is a partnership, and this can take some time. But as you continue to edit and you continue to work with more clients, especially better clients, because you're inside of my academy and you know now what you're looking for, and my academy makes it easier than ever to find good clients, you should have absolutely no problem getting over this hurdle. And it's good that you're conscious of it, because that means you can actually begin to reprogram and rewire your brain to think, you know what, getting a message from my client isn't actually a bad thing. And you know what, I've had messages from clients all the time which are like, hey Sam, I didn't really like what you did here in this video, can you change it? That's fine. I'm a creative, I like to take risks, I like to be a bit of a fucking rule breaker sometimes, and I think that's a very good thing. Sometimes I miss, that's totally fine. As long as you have a very reasonable client who understands your worth, it's not an issue. So just be kind to yourself and cultivate relationships with your clients where receiving a message from them doesn't give you a fucking deep pit of despair feeling in your stomach. Thank you, Rick, for the question. I hope that helped. And if you want even more mindset paradigm shifts for your video editing career, I can strongly recommend you join my Academy of Excellence. It's absolutely full of this, but it's also full of daily conversations inside of the network with like-minded video editing G's like yourself, sharing resources, sharing clients, sharing knowledge, constructive criticism, so on and so forth, every single day. My Academy has the best video editing network on the internet, without a shadow of a doubt. Because quite frankly, you watching this video, future 10K a month video editor, you probably have right now the mechanical skills necessary to make 10K a month. Your barrier is probably this. My academy will not only take you from a total beginner video editor to a video editing god, Premiere Pro and After Effects, advanced animations, but I also teach you the mindsets and the business know-how which enables you to actually charge good money for your services. If you want to transform your life, work with awesome clients while traveling the world with your laptop, printing cash like a G, click the first link in the description right now. Take care, boys.